what is pragmatics? Pragmatics is a branch of linguistics concerned with the use of language in social contexts and the ways people produce and comprehend meaning through language. Pragmatics is the study of how both literal and non-literal aspects of communicate linguistic meaning are determined by principles that refer to the physical of social context in which language is used. Linguistic context is discourse that precedes a sentence to be interpreted, and situational context is knowledge about the world. According to Charles Morris, pragmatics is different from semantics, which considers the relation between saying and the object this signifies. Semantics refers to the specific meaning of language. On the other hand, pragmatics involves all the social use and company language. Pragmatics focus not on what people say but how they say it and how others interpreted their utterances in social contexts. Say Jeffrey Finch in linguistic terms and concepts. Utterances are literally the units of sound you make when you talk, but the second that combine those utterances give the sound their true meaning.
Speech as theory. Julia Austin, a British philosopher of language, introduced this theory in 1975 in his well-known book of How to Do Things with Words. Austin is the one who came up with the finding that people not only use that language to assert things but also to do things. The speech theory considers language as a sort of action rather than a medium to convey and express. Later John Searle brought the aspect of theory into much higher dimension. According to Searle, there are 5 classifications of speech aids. Number 1, representative. Representative is when a speaker commits to the truth of what the speaker said. Usually we do this when stating, concluding, describing, and suggesting. Number 2, directive. Directives are used when the speaker attempts to tell a person or people what to do. For example, requesting, advising, inviting, and commanding. Number 3, commissive. Commissive commit a speaker to some future action. We do this when we are promising, threatening, vowing, and offering. Number 4, expressive. Expressive express how the speaker feel about the situation. We do this when we are greeting, thanking, apologizing, complaining, and congratulating. And number 5, declaration. Declaration changes the state of the word in immediate way. Example, when declaring, resigning, hiring, and arresting.
Politeness. In pragmatic, we consider politeness, direct or indirect, when a person threatens another person face or when we commit face-threatening act. There are 3 considerations in politeness. Number 1 is power distance. It exists between speakers. This refers to the power relationship between 2 interlocutors. You will typically find yourself in 3 types of power relationships. There are equal, subordinate, or lesser, and the last one is superordinate or greater. The example is students as subordinates call their teacher as superordinate by their honorific status like professor or doctor. More formal and indirect language is typically used in situations where the other person has more power than you do. Number two is social distance. It refers to the relationship between the interlocutors. If two people are very close, they would have a low degree of social distance. Two strangers would typically have a high degree of social distance. Higher degrees of social distance result in the use of more formal language. The last one is the level of politeness. It refers to the importance or degree or difficulty in the situation. The higher ranks of imposition tend to require more formal and complex language structures, where a small rank of imposition would exist when the request is small.
Cooperative principle. Paul Green's argues that the speaker intends to be cooperative when they talk. For Green's, cooperative means that the speaker knows that each utterance is a potential influence in the personal right, autonomy, and wishes a potential frustrating act of the other. That is why we have to shape our utterance in a certain way. Grace formulates the principle of cooperation that unlike conversation as follow. Number one, maxim of quantity or content and depth, where one tries to be as information as one possibly and give as much information as I need and one more or simply not more and not less. Number two, maxim of quality or truth, where one tries to be truthful. And number three, maxim of relevance, relation, where one tries to be relevant. Number four, maxim of manner, clarity, when one tries to be as clear, as brief, and as orderly as one can. What one say, and where one avoid obscurity and ambiguity, or simply be clear.
The differences between semantics and pragmatics. Both semantics and pragmatics are two main branches of study in linguistics. They both study the meaning and significance of words in a language. But there is a distinct difference between semantics and pragmatics. Let's look at these 5 key differences. Number 1, definition. Semantics is a branch of linguistics concerned with the meaning of morphemes, words, phrases, and sentences, and their relation. Pragmatic is a branch of linguistics concerned with the use of language in different contexts, and the way in which people produce and comprehend meanings through language. Number 2, context. Semantics doesn't consider the context, but pragmatics consider the context. Number 3, factors. Semantics is concerned with conceptual meaning, vocabulary, and grammar. Pragmatic is also concerned with the speaker's intended meaning, contextual factors, and listeners' inference in order to interpret the utterance. Number 4, focus. Semantics focus on the meaning of language, while pragmatics focus on language use. Number 5, scope. Semantics is narrow compared to pragmatics, as it deals with only meaning, but pragmatics is broader field when compared to semantics, as it deals with aspects beyond text.